What's up, Zaq fam, and welcome back to Zaq Updates. On your social feeds, the world might look pretty calm, but behind the headlines, a growing number of countries are quietly preparing for the possibility of war. Today, we're diving deep into which nations are building up their forces, what exactly they're doing, how much they're investing, and most importantly, why it matters to you. Let's get into it. Now, when we say countries are preparing for war, it doesn't mean they're about to launch an attack tomorrow. It means they're modernizing their militaries, running massive drills, stockpiling advanced weapons, and testing new systems for future conflicts. Right now, several nations are moving their pieces on the global chessboard, and you might be surprised to see who's getting ready behind closed, or at least semi-closed, doors. Let's start with Russia. Over the last few months, Russia has been conducting major military exercises, known as Zapad 2025. Officially, these drills involved around 13,000 personnel, but many analysts believe the real number was much higher, considering all the dispersed deployments. These maneuvers weren't just soldiers marching in a field. They included air sorties in Belarus and the Barents Sea, the use of nuclear-capable systems like the Iskander missile, and even a hypersonic Zircon missile launch in the Arctic from the Admiral Golovko frigate. Experts say these exercises are hyper-realistic, focusing on war planning, right near NATO, along S borders, and testing everything from logistics and drones to electronic warfare. Russia's goal is clear: to ensure they can react swiftly if tensions with NATO flare up again. It's all about projecting power and ensuring preparedness, sending a message that they remain a formidable military force. The sheer scale and announcement of these drills affect deterrence, alliances, and even global markets. Meanwhile, China has been dramatically increasing its military drills near Taiwan. In one massive operation in October 2024, China deployed 153 aircraft around the island in a single day, with a staggering 111 of them crossing the sensitive median line of the Taiwan Strait. On top of that, Taiwanese officials estimate that China spent a jaw-dropping $21 billion on military exercises in the region in 2024 alone. That's a 40% increase from the previous year. These drills have included simulated port blockades, amphibious assaults, and comprehensive combat readiness patrols. What does all this mean? Beijing is pouring serious money and effort into practicing for a potential encirclement or blockade of Taiwan. Taiwan and its allies see this as a full-dress rehearsal for an invasion. The stakes are incredibly high. One miscalculation or an accidental incident in the strait could escalate into a major conflict with lightning speed. Now, let's turn to North Korea. Pyongyang has significantly ramped up its weapons testing. In January 2025 alone, they tested a hypersonic intermediate-range missile, which they claim can travel 1,500 kilometers at 12 times the speed of sound. U.S. intelligence estimates that while North Korea currently possesses up to 10 intercontinental ballistic missiles, or ICBMs, that number could surge to 50 ONAOs by 2035. A dataset from the Japanese Ministry of Defense reveals a startling trend. Since Kim Jong-un took power in 2012, North Korea has conducted 201 missile launches capable of carrying significant payloads. These aren't just random tests for show. They're strategically designed to bolster their deterrence, improve their strike capabilities, and apply immense pressure on the region and the world. Every single test pushes the needle further, increasing their capability and, with it, the risk of a catastrophic miscalculation. And it's not just East Asia. Let's look at South Asia, specifically India and Pakistan. These two nuclear-armed neighbors have a long history of tension, but things got particularly dangerous this year. In May 2025, they engaged in one of the most serious military standoffs in recent memory, involving airstrikes, troop mobilizations, and intense border skirmishes. Since then, both sides have been quietly bolstering their readiness. They're deploying more advanced surveillance systems, creating faster response units, and conducting more frequent drills along the border. The details are often kept under wraps, but the pattern is undeniable. In this volatile region, even a small incident can spiral out of control, especially when nuclear arsenals are part of the equation. So what about the United States and its allies? While other nations are testing missiles, the U.S. has been strategically repositioning its troops and aircraft around the globe. We've seen an increase in the deployment of U.S. tanker aircraft, naval strike groups, and a boost in NATO's readiness along its eastern flank, particularly in response to events in Europe and the Middle East. Washington calls these moves deterrence, but from another perspective, they look a lot like preparation. The line between the two is incredibly thin. So are these countries secretly preparing for war? In a way, yes, but much of it is happening right out in the open. The exercises, the tests, the deployments, it's all visible if you know where to look. Modern warfare doesn't begin with the first shot fired. It starts long before with strategic positioning, intensive training, and calculated signaling. Russia is testing its strike systems. China is rehearsing a blockade. North Korea is launching more advanced missiles. India and Pakistan are upgrading their border readiness, and the US is repositioning its forces globally. What connects all of this? One powerful emotion: fear. The fear of being caught unprepared. Each country is racing to ensure it's ready for the next major conflict. But here's the paradox. This very pursuit of readiness can create the tension it AOS meant to deter. When one side makes a move, others feel compelled to respond, and that's how arms races ignite. The real danger isn't necessarily that one of these nations will launch a pre-planned war tomorrow. The greater risk lies in miscommunication, a single wrong move, a missile test mistaken for an attack, a collision at sea, or a sudden border skirmish that escalates beyond anyone's control. That's how major wars have started in the past. The world is walking a tightrope between deterrence and disaster. The best thing you can do right now is stay aware of what's happening, not through rumors and speculation, but by focusing on the facts. Watch for larger, more frequent military drills, sudden mobilizations of reserve forces, or abrupt changes in emergency laws. Those are the real signals to pay attention to. So that's the state of the world right now. Tense, heavily armed, and with everyone watching each other's every move. The headlines might seem calm, but beneath the surface, the global stage is heating up. Stay informed, stay smart, and keep watching Zaq Updates for the truth behind the world's moves. If you found this breakdown useful, hit that like button, share it with someone who needs to see it, and let me know in the comments which country or region you want me to cover next. Maybe Iran, or a hidden hotspot like the Arctic or Africa. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next update.